Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the 9 p.m. live English news edition. Here are the top stories. President Gili presided over the launching of the Merjuk oil port works. Concern about the evolution of the coronavirus in Gaza. Hello, welcome to our newsroom for having the news in details. The Merjuk, the head of state, Mr. Ismail Margeli, presides this morning, September 3rd, 2020, the launch of the first phase of construction work on an ultra-modern oil port capable of accommodating the latest generation of ships. This event takes place in the Merjuk, a few kilometers from the capital. It is the second port that this locality hosts after the one specialized in the export of livestock. The President of the Republic continues his ambitious strategy to install the Republic of Djibouti as an internationally recognized hub. Indeed, this is the 70th port that the Republic of Djibouti is equipped for a greater diversification of port activities in our country. The new port will consist of an engineering facility, a warehouse area, and a massive industrial park. Several personalities, including members of the government, attended this ceremony, greeted with joy and elation by the inhabitants of this locality. And it is undoubtedly that this new structure will take part in the policy of the head of state in terms of development and job opportunities. The chairman of Somajek Group, Roger Sahyoun, in his speech evoked the quality of this Moroccan company that takes on this task, mentioning that it has an expertise in the field. Somajek is a company that has played a major role in the development up to 80% of the country's port in Morocco. Somajek is not only based in Morocco, but 20 years ago, operations in Africa, such as Senegal, which has developed all the ports of Senegal, including the port of Dakar, which has undergone major renovation. The President of Ports and Free Zone Authorities, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, stressed the objective of this project, the biggest construction site in this area of the Merjuk, which will be most important one ever carried out. Let's listen to him.
DIP is Djibouti's first heavy industrial and petrochemical base and the only industrial complex in East Africa, equipped with road, ports, railways, and airport network, born from the vision of His Excellency the President Ismail Omar Guelleh. As such, DDIP will be central to drive forward Djibouti's industrialization and diversification, as well as to the wider region. has long along our existing trade, transport, logistics infrastructure, DDIP, will help Djibouti to achieve the Vision 2035, to transform the country into a global trade and logistic hub with world-class logistic, industrial, and financial facilities to serve the region. We have achieved a number of milestones in the development of DDIP this year. In early February, agreements were signed to finance and develop floating oil refinery with annual output capacity of 6 million tons. The refinery will allow Djibouti to transition to lower sulfur marine fuel in line with International Maritime Organization most recent environmental regulations. This was the first step in the development of the park as a petrochemical base. Today, we celebrate another landmark achievement in this area. In July this year, we have signed agreement in the form of foreign direct investments amounting over $2.5 billion regarding 5 major projects. This will further boost Djibouti industrialization and serve the East Africa by creating industrial cluster.
In his speech, the Minister of Energy in charge of natural resources, His Excellency Mr. Yunus Ali Gedi, said he was pleased to participate in this ceremony to launch the construction works of the Merjok oil and gas port under the patronage of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Margeli. He said he was proud and satisfied to see that they are entering this decisive phase of the construction work. He reminded us that this is simply a historic moment gathered today to mark the launch of what will be the largest construction site ever built in this area of the Merjok to establish the industrial pole of our country, but also the largest hydrocarbon platform in the country and the entire region with the gas project, composed of an offshore jetty connected to an onshore area and intended to serve multiple end users for the loading and unloading of petroleum projects. He explained that this industrial export complex with an annual throughput capacity of 13 million tons for a total storage of 800,000 meter cube will undoubtedly contribute to develop the industrial fabric of our country. He also said that the handling of our petroleum project from LNG to bitumen, LPG, gasoline, jet aviation, diesel, and various grades of fuel oil is also planned. Like other industrial ports such as Rotterdam, Jebel Ali, and Singapore, the oil and gas port of the Merjok will become an important hub at the mouth of the Indian Ocean and the Red Sea, one of the most important shipping routes for the transportation of oil and oil products. Indeed, Djibouti has always aspired to become a regional energy and logistics center for the delivery of petroleum projects. The realization of this port will bring us closer to our project and strengthen our position as a crossroad of 3 continents. And of course, the Minister of Energy in charge of natural resources, in accordance with the roadmap set by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Margeli, can only rejoice to be a major player in and indispensable partner in success of this historic turning point in the economic development of our country since 1999. The President of the Republic, in his speech, stressed that this ambitious project filled him with joy. This project, he said, will allow us to build an industrial fabric that will connect us with the rest of the world, but will also play a major role in our economic growth. This complex will allow us, as we hope, to create many jobs for our young people. The industrial park that we see today taking root and here under our feet will consolidate our place not in the region but in the world and make Djibouti a key player for Africa, for the Gulf of Arab, and for the whole world. And again, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Margeli, received today, Thursday, late morning, at the People's of the Palace of the Republic, the President of the Somali region of Galmudug, Mr. Ahmed Abdi Kariye, who at the head of high-level delegation of his administration is conducting since yesterday, Wednesday, a 72-hour visit to Djibouti. The audience between President Gelle and Mr. Kariye served as a framework to discuss the latest development in Somalia and the Galmudug region. peace and stability to scope of the effort taken for reconciliation between all component in Somalia's sensibilities, the additional support that the Republic of Djibouti is able to provide to this sister nation in view from the most prominent challenges facing its efficient return to the concert of nations have, among other issues, been discussed during this meeting. The discussions were then extended to assistance, including technical assistance and transfer of skills and know-how that our country has a high profile to offer to the Somali region of Galmudug in the legitimate quest of the latter to achieve port infrastructure. During this audience with the head of state, the president of the Somali region of Galmudug was accompanied, among others, by several ministers of his administration, including the Minister of Security, Mr. Ahmed Maalin Fiqi, the Minister of Interior, Mr. Ahmed Abdi Jama, and the Minister of Transport, Mr. Abdurazak Mohammed. On the Djiboutian side, the Ministry of Interior, Mr. Mumin Ahmed Sheikh, the Ministry of Equipment and Transport, Mr. Musa Mohammed Ahmed, the Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to the Federal Republic of Somalia, His Excellency Aden Hassan Aden, the Head of the National Security, Mr. Hassan Said Khaire, the President of the Djibouti Port and Free Zones Authorities, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, and the General Secretary of the Presidency, Mr. Mohammed Abdullah Baiz, took part in this meeting. Now in the education, the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, proceeded yesterday, Wednesday afternoon, to hand over lots of computer and office equipment to directors of basic education schools. The General Secretary of the Director General of Education Administration took part in the ceremony, which saw several dozen heads of basic education schools officially receive these school materials. Several hundred photocopiers, printers, and desktop computers, as well as 30 40-foot containers or more than 25,000 reams of blank paper and cleaning materials were distributed to all primary schools except those that already received their allocation last year. This is an opportunity for the minister to remind the students of the condition of the beginning of school year will be quite special this year after a premature closure of the school due to health crisis. After the announcement, the minister and his close collaborators proceeded to the official handover of the computer and office automation equipment. The minister reaffirmed his commitment to work in the best condition during this new school year. Now the Major of Djibouti, in collaboration with the Prefect of Djibouti and the National Police, yesterday conducted a major operation of verbalization in the town of Razdika. This operation is to find all person who deposit, abandon, throw or dump any type of waste on the public highway. The operation took place under the supervision of the sub-prefecture of the district of Plateau, Awali Mohammed Foud, and the president of the commune of Razdika. This operation will continue in the other communes of the capital in order to preserve the cleanliness of the city. Moving now into the international news, now 83 new cases of coronavirus were registered in Gaza on Wednesday. The Palestinian enclaves now has more than 400 patients, the vast majority having been contaminated outside quarantine center. Local authorities, international institutions, and non-governmental organizations are all concerned about the evolution of the situation in this territory under blockade and fragile health system. In the north of the Gaza Strip, where the main source of infection are located, movement is now very restricted. The authorities have also ordered that every person testing positive be placed in isolation. In Gaza, one of the challenges in the fight against the coronavirus is also the indispensable cooperation of many actors. UNRWA, the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees, which administers nearly a third of the population, but also non-governmental organizations that provide essential medical aid. In particular, NGOs and international institutions are calling for the launch of awareness campaigns. This is it for this edition of 9 p.m. Thank you for watching us, and have a wonderful evening.